Everything we do is going to be about winning. Okay, we're going to learn to do things the right way, and that's the only way we're going to do them. Because if it doesn't help us, we're not doing it, man. That's just as simple as it gets. Win the Super Bowl.
That's
I
good.
mean it too. You know, one of the things that the only reason you become a head coach in this league, in my opinion, is to win. That's it. That's the bottom line. If you do it for any other reason, you're wrong.
Hey, Washington football fans, welcome back. So, today I'm bringing back my series on our defense versus their offense. Kind of petered out there, but you guys let me know down in the comments section that you want me to finish it out. So, here we are. And we're on now to week 8, our matchup with the Denver Broncos. First of all, their quarterback situation, Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater, either way, kind of trash. Like, seriously, nothing to be worried about there. I mean, Drew Lock was actually my favorite quarterback in that draft, but he's been a bum so far, and unless he pulls off some Josh Allen stuff, turning things around, it's looking pretty dark. And, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, this defense devours game managers, so not a lot to worry about there. Offensive line-wise, Lloyd Cushenberry had a horrible PFF grade last year of a 40.5, and I'm pretty sure he's going to lose his job to rookie guy we all liked, Quinn Miners. 9.98 RES score. This guy's the illegitimate son of Post Malone and Sasquatch. He's got to have the job. The guy's a monster. I mean, he just learned to play center at the Senior Bowl, but this video of his workout here went viral and his draft stock shot through the roof. Yeah, check him out. Like, this is crazy. Look at this. Now, all jokes aside, he could be a stout addition to that O-line and maybe cause us some problems. Then we got Garrett Bowles, who at tackle position, or guard, I'm sorry. But some people think the jury's still out on him, but he took a huge step up in his production last season, and this guy had a 90.6 PFF grade. He's got a 9.45 RAS score. He's a tough matchup. I think this guy's a seriously tough matchup. And, yeah. And just like us, the Broncos have a solid Bears refugee. And I'm not talking about Graham Glasgow here. 7.97 RES score, 6.85 PFF score. After 3 straight seasons of 70 plus PFF grades, great player and damn good Mike Dick impersonator. Check this guy out. But I'm actually talking about an actual Bears player, Bobby Massey, coming over. He had a 72.6 PFF grade, 6.63 RAS. Like, this guy's a good player. Just like Leno, just like Lucas that we got. I mean, this guy was starting ahead of Lucas there. I mean, Bobby Massey was a solid tackle for the Bears, and now the Broncos have him. And he's done all right. And, I mean, he could give us some problems. And, that's kind of what they got going for the offensive line. And if all else fails, they've got Patrick Morris. Man, look at that psychopath. Seriously, look at this guy. That dude definitely scares the hell out of his neighbors. Like, he's probably started a few conversations like, hey man, have you ever wondered what people taste like? For the love of God, say no, or he'll send you home with his 2-time Texas-Oklahoma State Championship chili. Just say no, man. Say no. Stay away from Patrick Morris. Dude's a psycho. Just look at it. Running back, they got a hell of a 1-2 punch here. Melvin Gordon. Man, 72.5 PFF grade. 8.74 RAS. Solid, dangerous running back. And then they also drafted Javonte Williams. 8.79 RAS. 9.43 PFF grade in college last season. In my opinion, this guy was the best running back in the draft. I know Etienne and Harris got all the hype, but this guy could run through you, by you, juke you. He could be a problem if our run defense isn't as improved as I hope it is. Then at the tight end position, they got Noah Fant. Now, he had a 71.2 PFF grade last year, 9.89 RAS. Hell of a pass-catching tight end. He's going to test our linebacking group's mettle for sure in coverage. But if we've held it down so far against Kyle Pitts at this point in the season, then I don't think Fant isn't going to be anything we hadn't seen. So hopefully we could take care of him, but he still could be a tough test. And then this wide receiver group, Jerry Jeudy. Now, he only had a 65.2 grade last year, but, I mean, a lot of that's got to be like quarterback. He's a 4.4 speed guy. He's got great size. All-around wide receiver from Alabama. I mean, suffered through his rookie season, with a bad quarterback. And he still stayed pretty productive. Better play from the quarterback could really unlock his potential and make him a real problem. But I think we'll keep, Locke or Teddy out of rhythm. And that limit, Jerry Jeudy and his teammate, Cortland Sutton. Now, he's a 9.80 RAS guy. He had a breakout 8.31 PFF season in 2019. And then last season, he just had a broken season. He tore his ACL and it put him out for the year in week 2. So he's been out for pretty much a whole season. And if he returns to form, like I said, they'll have a nasty 1-2 punch. But, yeah, it remains to be seen. And just like I said with Jeudy, applying pressure to the quarterback applies. If we got, Locke or Bridgewater running for their lives, then these guys shouldn't get much of a chance. And we got the secondary to handle them anyway. They also got 3 big-bodied contested catchers, I believe, undrafted, or maybe they took Brandon Mack in the draft. I don't know, but 3 big-bodied contested guys here. Warren Jackson, who's 6'6", 230. Brandon Mack, who's 6'5", 220-something. Seth Williams, who's 6'2", 220-something. If any of these guys make the team, there'll be interesting matchups for Juice. And it should be a good showcase of his skills and his improvement by this point in the season. I don't know. I think this game will be a walk in the park for us. Like, they get a lot of hype for all the people they got, but as much talent as they got, I think our group erases it all and is able to capitalize on their weaknesses pretty easy. So I got us, locking it down week 8 with the defense and giving the Broncos a pretty good thrashing. I mean, they got a good defensive group too, but I don't think it matches up as well with our offense as vice versa. And yeah, it's a game I think we got. Then we go into a bye, and then we come back Week 10, one of the most anticipated games of the season. Our rematch from the playoffs against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tompa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, so quarterback, what can I say? It's Tom Brady. What more is there to say? He's coming off of a 92.4 PFF season. The man's 193 in GOAT years, but he's still looking pretty spry for somebody that age. Though, his 40 time, you time it with the seasons. Takes off when the first leaf drops in the fall, and he hits that finish line right about the same time the first flower's blooming, Not a fast guy. But don't let this fool you. He's a wily old coot, and he always manages to get the most out of his supporting cast. And his current supporting cast is pretty, epic. It's like Atlas of Greek mythology, Ashley Graham's Brawl, or Brad Pitt's child support. $9 million worth of epic. Pretty legendary supporting staff. Group. Pretty legendary supporting cast. Start out offensive line. We got Ryan Jensen, a.k.a. Little Pete from Nickelodeon's Pete and Pete. If y'all remember that, y'all old enough for that. 7.15 RAS score. He had a 6.49 PFF grade. Kind of the low point of the lineup, but he played better than the grade showed last year. And before Brady, this guy was getting like 79.9 PFF grades. So if he could get into a rhythm, he could be a problem. Then you got Ali Marpet. This guy had a 9.92 RAS score. Division III offensive lineman, and guy that paved the way for previous mentioned Broncos center Quinn Miners, another Division III guy. This guy's a high tier guard. It took a huge step up last season from respectable 7 to 3 in 2019 to an 86.7 PFF grade last season. So that was a better grade than Sheriff graded last year, and that was an all-pro campaign from him. So, Ali Marpet is a really good guard that we're going to have to deal with. It's going to be a tough task for Allen or Payne. Then you got Alex Kappa, who, he managed to get a 69 flat PFF grade. Nice. That was actually the same grade as Schweitzer. Another small school guy. Definitely benefited from Tom's leadership and posted his career best. He could be replaced, though, by freak athlete, undrafted rookie free agent, Sedarius Hutcherson. And that was a guy I was really interested in as an undrafted rookie. 9.89 RAS, 7.4.9 PFF grade in college. A guy, like I said, I would have loved to have picked up late in the draft or undrafted, but you got to wonder, are they going to be able to mold another freak athlete into a great guard like Ali Marpet? They also drafted Robert Hainsey from Notre Dame, 8.08 RAS, third round pick. Like I said, another in a long line of solid Fighting Irish offensive linemen. Graded 89.6 at right tackle in college last season. He's projected as an offensive guard at the next level by most. And he could be coming for Kappa's job, and he'll be a possible upgrade. So, tough, another tough guy for our D-line to match up with. Then at left tackle they got Donovan Smith. He's a 8.80, just like the last guy. RAS score, just like Hainsey. And he had a 72.1 PFF grade last season, but gave up 6 sacks and had 11 penalties. So there could possibly be a situation here where second-year player Tristan Wirfs gets, to move over that left tackle spot and like they just swap. Or, Wirfs takes it and he loses the right tackle spot to Hainsey. They got options, they got plenty of depth. And like I was just mentioning there, Tristan Wirfs. This kid had a dominant rookie season. PFF grade of 8.18. This is a RAS score guy of 9.74. I mean, freak athlete. I mean, this guy ran something crazy like a 4.83 40 at his size, which was just nuts. This guy's going to be a problem. I mean, we were a little lackluster in our pass rush against him in the playoffs last year. And it was more reason we looked flat than any of these guys dominating, but still, like, this is a position group that, could cause us some problems. And then running backs, they got, Leonard Fournette, castaway. This guy's a former 4th overall pick at running back. He was at 8.04 RAS. I mean, pretty much had a horrible season last year and hasn't, lived up to his draft potential at all in the NFL. But he did gash us for 115 yards combined, so we got to stay on him when we play in this season if they, deploy him. If not, they got Ronald Jones II and a 2nd-round pick. He was a 73.6 PFF grade last season. Definitely the better performing back out of their group last season. Luckily, they didn't use him against us, so we got to be worrying about him this season. They also picked up Giovanni Bernard too, so I mean they got a crazy little 3-headed monster there. I mean, yeah, it's a tough running back group. Tight end group is even tougher. They got O.J. Howard. Last season, he only had 11 receptions for 146 yards and 2 TDs. And that was enough to grade him out at an 80.1. But he's been able to put up seasons like he's had an 88.9 season in 2019. So if he's healthy, he could be insane. Like, it's a contract year, too. So a good tight end like him, plus Tom Brady, being healthy on a contract year, man, a motivated tight end and Tom Brady, I think O.J. Howard is going to be a problem. So, yeah, I'm just hoping, really hoping that our linebacking group, our safeties, I just hope we have a good game plan for these tight ends, especially O.J. Howard. Yeah, Cameron Brate, he's just a big body, pretty good receiver, pretty good blocker. He had a 67.8 grade last season, a 7.63 RAS score guy. Just a tough extra guy there to match up with. And they still got Gronk. Now, way, way, way back in the day when he came out in the draft, Gronk was a 9.33 RAS score guy. And coming out of retirement, he was still capable of a 72.1 PFF grade. But he's definitely not what he used to be. I think, in a game against us, he might get 3 to 5 targets. Maybe. But, it's still Gronk, still something you got to worry about. Then on to the wide receiver group. Like I said, Brady's supporting cast is ridiculous. Because his wide receiver 3, Antonio Brown, that might be the most ridiculous wide receiver 3 in the history of football. Even if he's not what he used to be, he still grabbed 485 yards and 4 touchdowns while getting a 85.8 PFF grade, like coming off the bench last season. So he's something we're going to have to worry about. Chris Godwin, 80.3 PFF grade last season, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns, hell of a wide receiver too. I mean, as long as he kind of sticks to that role, he's one of the best in the league. he actually took a step back in production with Brady from a 90 PFF grade and 1,333 yards the year before. You know, haven't really settled into his role as the number 2 in this offense. He definitely calls for the proper respect from our defense. Could be a guy to get Kendall Fuller's attention from the slot. Maybe even put William Jackson III on him. I mean, definitely demands a lot of respect. Then you got Mike Evans. He had a 74.1 PFF grade last season. Had 1,006 yards, 11 touchdowns. Probably the league standard when it comes to the type of guy Ben St. Juste was drafted to cover. Mike Evans is a top-tier bully wide receiver. And this guy, his grade dropped quite a bit too with Tom Brady's arrival. But with the chemistry building in year 2, he could be our toughest matchup. Juice being young, he might not be quite ready for the best bully. He's definitely meant for these kind of guys, but this is the best of the best, I think. So he's definitely going to need a little safety help, a little linebacker help, something. He's going to need a little help in this matchup. It's going to be a tough one. Then they also picked up they drafted Jalen Darden. I thought this was the shiftiest man in the draft. Darden's the kind of guy that'd stop on a dime and give you change back. I've seen him juke dudes' souls out of their bodies. He could just be a return man, but he could be an insanely, shifty receiving option too. So he's another guy. We got to put some respect on him. We got to, make sure we have something in mind for him when we play him. Then you got little Scotty Miller. Now, 66.9, but he still snagged 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, just to keep, Antonio Brown from, being pissed off. Make sure that he gets one more touchdown than this guy. But we all know Tom Brady has a type. And look at this guy. This guy's Tom Brady's type. He loves these guys. And look for him to get, a lot more touches next season. So, it's going to be a guy we have to worry about. And this second year, this offense being together, it could hit another gear and be some crazy 98 Vikings, 99 Rams, 07 Pats kind of defense or offense. But we held pretty tough last year, even, when our defense played flat as hell. That was one of the worst games our defense played all season. And if we play with more energy, we play on point, I think, we could do very well. Their offense managed to keep everyone together and possibly build, more chemistry, while our defense managed to make some big improvements, where they need it. But we also gained that second year chemistry that, the Bucs are gaining. Now, there are plenty of possible matchup problems for our D-line, but I have faith we still have the higher end position group. And in the second season, with the linebacker additions, the safety depth, I think Jack Del Rio is going to be able to scheme up consistent pressure and disruptions. And it's possibly our biggest test of the year. I mean, I know we play Kansas City before that, but just our defense, testing our defense as a whole, this might be, the biggest matchup. And even with all his vast experience and GOAT status, Tom Brady lacks mobility, and I think that'll be our saving grace, as we should be able to get home and at least rush him most of the time. I think if we can play a bit more inspired with the upgrades we've made, we give all the talking heads another chance to ask the same dumb, is Tom Brady finally over the hill questions they do every year after we show everybody who the next NFC powerhouse is. And that's how I see week 8 and 10 going. That's how I think our defense is going to match up against their offenses. If y'all like the video, please like the video. Hit that subscribe button for me. Yeah, I also like to say I got those the buy me a cup of coffee link and the Venmo in the beginning of the video. And if you guys watch the video, I love y'all. Let me know what you think about how we match up. And peace.